So we're going to group 2 at a time. Oh man, I'm going to attach that negative symbol with the 7. So I'm going to change this to a plus, attach the negative symbol to the 7. And I'll group those. That way I don't lose sight of that minus sign. Technically the 7's negative. So out of the first group, they share a 6w, left with 3x. Ooh, wait a second. That's wrong. They just share an x. Or I'm left with an x. What can we take out of the next group? We have to take out a 7. If we take out a 7, I'm left with negative x plus 3. At this point, notice how the parentheses are almost similar. Not the exact same. So what's the strategy? So instead of just taking out a positive 7, let's take out a negative 7. Those signs will change. Leaving us with x minus 3, which is our goal. Now we see that they share x minus 3, and I'm left with 6w. Instead of saying plus negative 7, let's just put minus 7. What's up?
So I got the same answer, but I took out...
Since there's no greatest common factor, we gotta turn it into... Could we turn it into a factor by grouping? Product of 4 times negative 15. So we need a product of negative 60, sum of negative 4. That might take a little bit. What do we got? Negative 10 and 6? You know, if we put that negative number first, we won't have to worry about putting a plus negative somewhere. So I'm going to put that negative 10x first and then the 6x. Turns into then I'll group the first 2, last 2. You keep cruising if you didn't realize it was negative 10 and 6. Check up here when you've found the greatest common factor in each set of parentheses. And then see what's left. Need to figure out 2 numbers, product of negative 36, sum of 5. Anybody find it? 9 and negative 4. 9 times negative 4, 9 plus negative 4. Agree. I'm going to put the negative 4 first. I'll put the negative 4 first, just so I have to don't deal with a plus negative. I'm going to group those 2. You don't have to put the negative 4x first, but if you put it second, you have to put plus negative so you don't lose sight of it. Since they share a 4x in my first 2 groups, I need to make sure that I have a 1 placeholder. Or put a 1 where it... So it holds the place. If you put the negative 4x second, you're going to have to take out... Or the second parentheses would have only shared a 1. So if you have negative 4x second, you'd still have to take out a 1. So no matter how you do it, you should still end up with 3x minus 1 as a set, 4x plus 3 as the other set. Questions on that one? They do share something. They share 2x. What's left after you take that out? Okay, going back to yesterday. When we have a huge exponent like x to the 4th, we've got 64 and x to the 4th. It is going to become that difference of squares, so hopefully you remembered how to do that. where it's going to break up into the square root of each of those. So square root of 64, and then square root of x to the fourth would have to be x squared. One of them gets a minus, one of them gets a plus. We got to check to see, do we have another difference of squares? So if we look at this, oh geez, oh Pete, I thought that was a highlighter. If we look at this, is 8 a square root? Or can 8 be perfectly square rooted, I guess? Can't, so this is the answer. So if you remembered how to do that, awesome. If not, do I have another one? Oh, this one's odd. This is another where you have to factor completely. It's going to take more than just one thing to get it done. You will get at least 2 points by realizing they do all share something. They all share a 2. And you're left with 3x squared minus 2x minus 8. If you don't see that right away, you'll get a couple points for starting factor by grouping. Let's see. Product of negative 24, sum negative 2. Negative 6 and 4. So if I make that negative 6x positive 4, I'm going to group the first two and the last two. What do we got here? Out of the first group, they share 3x, leaving x minus 2. Out of the second group, we've got a 4. Entire answer, I'm going to write up top since I don't have any more room. They had a greatest common factor of 2. Inside, they shared an x minus 2, and we're left with 3x plus 4. Questions on that one? This is going to be the last one. They share something. Hopefully you saw that. They share 5y squared. You're left with 4x squared minus 1. You've got to have that placeholder of 1. So we check. Can we factor by group? Well, we don't have 3 terms. Can you do the difference of squares?
Yes.
Sometimes we forget that 1 is actually a perfect square. If you take 1 times 1, you get to 1. 1 is a perfect square. We can break it up into the square root of 4x squared, 2x and 2x, and then we can take 1 times 1 to get 1. One of them gets a plus, one of them gets a minus. That's the last one.